Yes, people, welcome back to the channel because we are talking about Mr. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, who looks set to return for Chelsea, a player that looks rested, recovered, fresh, and ready to take on this Premier League and Champions League challenge for Chelsea. Because I think one thing is clear, people, we can all see that Cole Palmer is the main guy for Chelsea when it comes to that attacking quartet, linking things together, the threat, the goals, the creativity, and also the belief to play on the biggest stage. I think that is Mr. Cole Palmer. And I'm making this video now because I've seen enough in two games, one against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, one against Brentford in the Premier League. And you can see the impact he has had on that Chelsea team already in just two games. You know, he had a goal disallowed, which was a very good goal against Bayern Munich, scored a goal, which he started the move with Caicedo, getting the ball back from Gusto, an excellent finish into the top right-hand corner. And then obviously his impact against Brentford, literally scoring within the first few touches. But not just that, creating, having a great moment to score again. And it just feels like Chelsea have much more of an impetus when they're going forward when Cole Palmer is on the pitch. And do you know what, right? I don't wish for any players to get injured. Of course I don't, right? But when you look at the situation with Cole Palmer, I'm a big FPL player and I'm going to link it to that. I had Cole Palmer come into my team as an FPL player at the start of the season, and I was pretty disappointed with the way he was playing and the returns. Obviously, the blank against Crystal Palace, they struggled a bit in the Fulham game, which he missed out on. The second game of the season, where they had West Ham, he got injured in the warm up. But when you look at it, right, in terms of, Chelsea and what they're aspiring to be and what they're aspiring to do. They won the Club World Cup, and a lot of people were saying, right, they're dark horses to win the league. And I was thinking they're going to fall short just because the lack of experience and leadership. And we've seen that already in the first few games of the season. Obviously, the lack of, chances and created against Crystal Palace. They got a bit lucky against Fulham. They went to West Ham and done what they needed to do. Of course, a lot of teams are doing that at the moment. And then obviously on the weekend where they got the draw again against Brentford and they didn't have that sort of experience and nous to finish off the game and keep the 2-1 lead. So Chelsea, for me, are out of the title race. They're going to be competing for top four and potentially going to get into the top four because that's what I've predicted for them to do. But I think when you look at individuals and having a player back that can make such a difference, I think for Chelsea, it is Cole Palmer. I just think, going back to my point of saying I don't wish for players to get injured. I don't wish for players to get injured, but I feel like Cole Palmer needed the rest. When some players have just played so much football over the last 18 to 24 months, and yeah, they love playing football, they love playing games, but they're still a human. They're still like a car at the end of the day that, like, if you keep driving me around at full speed, I'm eventually gonna something's gonna happen to the car and you're gonna need to repair it. And I feel like Cole Palmer got injured in the warm-up against West Ham and then had a couple of weeks out, the international break, to recharge. And I feel like it's done him wonders because now he's come back. He just looks fresh. He looks hungrier. He looks like he's missed the game a bit. And also, he's making a difference to Chelsea already because, on the flip side, you've got João Pedro. He's playing near enough every game at the moment because they're trying to subsidize for the loss of Cole Palmer's creativity. But Cole Palmer is looking fresh. He is looking dangerous. He is looking like a player that is ready to make a big impact for Chelsea. And I think now the run of games that Chelsea have got, when you look at, pushing forward, trying to build some momentum, trying to get a winning run going, I think it's great for them. You look at it and they've got Manchester United away. They've got Lincoln away in the cup. They've got Brighton at home, Benfica at home. And then they've got a massive game against Liverpool at the start of October, which is at Stamford Bridge. So when you look at the 4 games they've got coming up, on paper, Chelsea can win all 4. It's the perfect time for Cole Palmer to get his rhythm, to score goals, to create. I think Manchester United away at Old Trafford, yeah, it could be tricky because Manchester United are needing to bounce back and get a performance, try and get some points. But also at the same time with Caicedo, Palmer, João Pedro, Reece James, Cucurella, the players that Chelsea do have at their disposal, you do feel like they'll get chances. And if they take them chances, they'll beat Manchester United, especially if Cunha's not back. Lincoln in the cup, they can rotate. They'll beat them with their second team squad. And then Brighton, a team like Brighton that we know can be very good on their day, but a team like Brighton that also is lacking that killer edge, that cutting edge. And I think Baleba, the transfer rumours has made him not come back the same player. I think defensively they're not as robust. I just think Chelsea will beat Brighton. If I'm honest, I think that can be quite a high scoring game. And then you look at the game after that, which is Benfica. Jose Mourinho returning to the football club, by the way. Interesting. Chelsea obviously going to give him a great, applause. 2 leagues he won with them, which is brilliant. Maybe 3 leagues. if I'm honest with you, sorry. But I feel like, when you look at Benfica, I don't think they have the quality to go to Stamford Bridge and beat Chelsea, especially in the Champions League under the lights. So that's already 4 fixtures you're looking at, maybe one against Manchester United if they get a draw. Potentially anything can happen, that Chelsea should be winning. And it's a perfect time for Cole Palmer to get his momentum back, to deliver what he can do in terms of his top performances. Because the one thing about Cole Palmer, and look, we've seen him do it, is that he's proven. And I think when it comes to Premier League and, big teams, you want to have players that are proven, been there and done it. And at 23 years of age, I think Cole Palmer is a proven Premier League player. Just 2 years ago in 23-24, we saw his campaign, 33 games, 22 goals, 11 assists. The main player for Chelsea, an absolute demon. Everyone was thinking, why have Manchester City sold him to a team like Chelsea when he can perform like this? Last season was a quiet year for Cole Palmer, by the way. Not quite the same, not quite fully at it. 37 games, 15 goals, 8 assists. Still 23 returns, which is very good for someone of a player at the top 6. And I think when you look at it as well, you want most midfielders at top clubs, you're saying 20 goal contributions. That could be 10 goals, 10 assists. Well, Cole Palmer has contributed more than that in his first 2 seasons, 33 and 23. 2 games so far in the league this year, 1 goal, 0 assists. But like I said, people, he wasn't that sharp. Maybe he was overplayed. He had the Club World Cup as well. He needed that 2-3 week break just to say, this is my reset. And now I'm going to be back. And I think Chelsea do need him more than ever. I think there's timings when it comes to football. How much do Chelsea need him? Well, it's a lot, because they're not able to put them consistent performances together at the moment. João Pedro's been holding it up in there, but Garnacho, Pedro Neto, Jamie Gittins, other players haven't quite had that cutting edge yet. So I feel like with Chelsea, they now need someone like Cole Palmer to step up and help with João Pedro in that final third. And it's going to be interesting because I think Chelsea are going to be one of them teams that are going to be dangerous in the Champions League. And linking it back to obviously the defeat to Bayern Munich. Yeah, it was a defeat against Bayern Munich. But I also think at the same time that they are going to learn from that. They are going to grow from that. Chalobah tossing at the back in central defence. That's not going to win you a Champions League. But hopefully it can win you enough games that will get you through to the knockouts. And Chelsea might then reinvest in the January window. Wesley Fofana might also be back fit then and delivering to the standard that we all saw him deliver at Leicester and thinking, yeah, he can be a top centre-back. So let's see what happens. But I do think now, with Cole Palmer coming back, the bright sparks is seen from the Brentford game, the bright sparks is seen from the Bayern Munich game, and him having that 2-3 week reset where he had that injury and he was able just to find his feet again and come back looking hungry and determined. I think now he is ready to unleash himself for a 3rd season at Chelsea Football Club. I'm not going to set no benchmark. I'm not going to set no goals or assist target. I just think that Cole Palmer could now be settled to dazzle, set to dazzle in this autumn period. Watch this space. But guys, like this video, make sure you subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.